eventually watch it, but we will record it. All right. So we heard a little bit, Marcy, about you started your own
Yeah.
business, which
Yeah.
SkyPoint is related to your name, which is awesome, and you work at a
Yeah.
community college.
Yep.
Anything else that you just want us to know about you as like by way of introduction?
No, I'm just really excited to connect with, other people. I've been in learning and development. I've been in higher ed for years, for almost my entire career. I stepped away from higher ed for about 2.5 years to be an instructional designer working on a government contract. Government went crazy, got laid off, and found myself back in higher education. My day job is I'm a simulated learning experiences coordinator for my local community college, business and hospitality. So yeah,
Mm.
so that's kind of me. So I
And
love being in this space.
how about just like one like thing people would not guess?
Think people would not guess about me.
Hmm.
Um, well, normally I'd say I love the beach, but you can probably guess that from my background.
Well, okay, so out in the wild, you
Um,
they would not
I
know that
have
about
I
you.
have a puppy. She's not here though. I don't know
Oh,
where she is. She's
uh-huh.
she's downstairs, but I do have a cute little. She's 4, so she's not really a puppy anymore, but she's small. She's not a big dog, and so yeah, she's fun. I have two sisters. Oh wait, I know one that people would not normally guess about me unless they know me. I have two sisters. My older sister is like 14 months older than me. My younger sister, 17 years younger than me.
Ooh, okay, 14 months and 17 years.
He's very big age gap. I became a middle child at the age of 17.
Youngest to middle. Okay,
Yes.
youngest to middle.
Yep.
How about
So,
how about
yep.
you, Julie? What do you what's a good introduction to you? Just whatever you feel comfortable sharing.
Um, Professionally, I am an enterprise agile coach, which means that I help corporations help their teams collaborate effectively on delivering small, high value products with lots of improvements in between, high quality and that sort of a thing. I have been out of work since June because nobody wants what I do anymore. Um,
Mhm.
I still think it's really valuable, and I'm all about collaboration and communication and supporting each other, and like that's the way forward. And it
Mm,
seems like the world has moved drastically in the passionately opposite direction. And uh, I maintain that people like me are gonna be how we succeed as a human species, and that it's still important. So even though
mm,
corporations are investing in AI and trying to erase our hearts, it's our
mm,
hearts that make
Mhm.
us
mm,
work well, right? Like so,
mhm.
and that's probably enough.
Okay, and then just like something kind of off the beaten path about you that well, it might be the only thing we remember, except we know agile is important, and so do you.
I know a weird amount about medieval southern Spain.
Oh. This is why I asked the question. That's cool. So I think the two of you know a little bit about me, but it took a lot of gumption, whatever the word is, to quit my job in public health because there was a lot of inertia to just wait till I had the next offer. But I had the courage to drop out, to quit in 2014 after 17 years. And I didn't go into L&D because I thought it was another peripheral field.
Mhm.
And in fact, I had on good authority that it wasn't, but then my lived experience was that it can be actually taken seriously in some organizations. So then I was like, okay, yay, now I have my new field. And always the oddest thing about me is I ran a cemetery, and I have lots of funny stories about it because
You run a cemetery?
I did, and
Mm.
I ran a cemetery
That's cool.
uh, in the past. I was as the assistant to the administrator of a synagogue, and there were lots of funny stories that came out of it. But it also was a great introduction to epidemiology because they kept track of exactly everybody in the cemetery, where they were born, what they died of. So I got to see the early flu, like influenza.
Mhm.
Basically, it killed a lot of
Mhm.
people, and so I like it made it all real to me
Mhm.
as I knew I was going into public health. But car accident, first car accident. Um,
Mhm.
so and then I also remember actually in that synagogue holding the book. information is beautiful. And I now just started a job for Data Visualization Society, which is just a part-time contract job. Well, I'll stop. I'll never say the just again. Is an important part-time contract job for a conference that's in June. And I'm excited to meet all these data visualization because I'm all about getting information to people. So a little bit about me. I want
I
this
have
conversation. Go ahead.
I
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
question.
Yeah.
I am to be your assistant, which partly means I should
Yeah.
help you keep an eye on the time. What
Yep.
time shall we return?
Yeah, we have 11 minutes. If you look at the top, it should say, I think 2 minutes before the end, we should do kind of a wrap-up appreciations of our time together.
We have
Um,
11, so we're 11 minutes in. What time, like how, oh, I see. It's
No,
counting
it's
the
counting
remaining
down.
minutes. It's
Yeah,
counting
yeah,
down. Oh,
and then
okay.
yeah,
there's only 30 seconds. It's not a big grace period. So we'll give ourselves
Okay.
two
yeah.
minutes and 30
So
seconds
like
to
about
say,
2 minutes in, we'll give it a heads up.
Yeah,
yeah,
before it boots us out back to the main
yeah,
room.
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, we can stop it because we have the power. But yeah, and then Jason will be like, thank God, because it was not enough time. But I think we'll try to stick with it. So, like, I want to just start with a broad discussion of where do you get your information? Who do you trust? And then just what comes to mind? Who do you learn from? And where do you get your information? And only feel obviously comfortable sharing. I I'll start by saying I made a list of the newsletters this morning that I get. So I'm going to throw that in the chat. It's also on the resource list. So that is, and I also have the advantage of I can write in the sharing from the Campfire group. So I don't even actually need to do this. I'm just wasting that.
When you chat in a breakout room, will it save the chat to your computer afterwards, or is it only the
I
chats in
think
the
I
room?
think you see that chat, but the when you go to the main room, you'll still see it, but the main room people won't.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. But this tab is on the shared Campfire. So I am I'm pretty good about like anything that's important to me. I share widely, so I don't feel like I need to say much here. But I put on the resource the Campfire list, which is on every email for me about this event.
Mhm,
Next Big Idea Club, Creative Mornings, all of these newsletters in the chat, podcasts for sure. I love the
mhm,
LD Shakers group. Like if you
mhm,
haven't checked that out, it's awesome.
mhm,
And so I listen to podcasts a lot when I'm cooking and stuff. Books. So books,
mhm,
these newsletters, podcasts, people, meeting with people. Like I met with a
mhm.
friend this morning
Yeah.
and I got my eyes opened about what it's like
Mhm.
to live in Bengaluru. So that's kind of where I get my
I
information. Go ahead. I'm going to take notes in the
I
chat while you talk, Marcy.
I am of these days trust no one, verify everything.
Writing that
So
down. Trust no one. Verify everything.
I definitely get a lot like L&D related stuff from these kind of groups, going to different networking events, organizations, things like that. Colleagues, certainly when I was working as an instructional designer, I'm usually the person who brings like, oh yeah, I heard about this new tool or whatever. So, LinkedIn, following people on LinkedIn because people are always sharing stuff. And, newsletters, email newsletters, of course. I haven't really gotten into podcasts. Podcasts are generally pretty good. Um, and yeah, I just kind of just try and like soak everything in, but I have a lot of like to read because I know like I can't just read it. I have to, of course, go in and be like, is this true? Like, what is their angle? What are their underlying biases and perceptions that are coloring what they're telling me? I generally collect a lot of stuff that I'm like, oh, I want to read this later, and then I'm not sure later ever comes. So it's a problem. But
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Okay,
It's
that's
a
helpful.
resource because when you have a situation, you have a library.
Yes, I do. I always,
Mm.
yes. I save a lot of like posts on LinkedIn. I have my long list of posts that I've saved and like, oh, go back later. And yeah, and then these kind of groups are great. On this Thursday, actually, there's a networking, L&D networking event that they have once a month, I think once a month. Um and that one's always great because there's a speed networking portion and then there's the after party, and the after party is just full of people who are just sharing information and supporting and everything. So definitely things like that.
What is that place called? I would love to
Um,
specifically find out
Is
about
it
that.
the
yeah, let me,
ED fellowship events? It's on the list. I'm going to
yes,
highlight it. I'm going to put it in bold on the list for you,
yeah. So
Julie.
that's coming up this past week. They had a little network. It wasn't networking. It was a session on like a show and tell where people are just showing tools that they use. That's always fun. And then this upcoming Thursday they have their traditional speed networking where it's in a platform where you have breakout rooms and it's usually one-on-one with people, and he always has questions and everything. So it's a lot of great opportunity to learn a lot of from a lot of people, and to meet a lot of people. And then there's like I said, the after party, which they jump into Zoom. Anyone who wants to stay goes to a Zoom meeting, and that's kind of just open, kind of conversational flow.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, for
that's one of
sure.
my favorite networking
Yay.
events. Actually, that group is really great. And actually, Patrick, he's heavily involved in that group.
We are at
Awesome.
about 5 minutes.
Over to you, Julie. Where do you get your information? What do
So,
you
is the question
recommend?
about learning and people development information, or is it about learning in general?
I think both are relevant because, frankly, it's going to inform, as far as I understand, to me, this L&D seems a lot like public health, where it all comes together. So, who do you trust for information about the world and L&D, obviously, specifically?
Trust is maybe another meeting.
Okay, who do you go to? Who are you currently trusting?
Um, I trust Heather Cox Richardson. Um,
Yep.
so, but like that's not pertaining to this particular topic, but I will say that I have curated the intake of information pretty heavily for my own sanity, and some of that is a balance of these are facts that are happening right now, and these are things that are actually working. These are inspirations, right? And I think that whatever we're struggling with or learning about or helping people through, it's really important to keep that balance in mind. So I really like the Substack called Chop Wood to Carry Water.
Mhm.
And the idea of that is here are some things that you are doing that are actually having an impact, and here is the impact. So that's very inspiring. And then there's another one called Climate Change. The app is called Climate Change Now, and the Substack is called something else. I'll have to look it up, but that's also it's global. It's like here are some actions that you can take really quickly and share this article, and these are things that they're doing in Germany. That's and so that helps keep me inspired, and I think that's important. There is so this may be kind of particular to my field, but there
Well,
is a certification class called Agile People Development, and it's the title of your certification is called it's IC Agile is the certifying body, and the PDV People Development is that's like second part of that certification title. And learned I learned a lot about stuff I already knew kind of in that class, but the focus is important to me. Like how do we support people as they're going through change? And I think that that's I would like to pair that knowledge with environmental sustainability actions. And I think that there's a lot of synergy between those communities. Like the environmental people need people who can help us move through change, navigate extreme change, right? And the agile people are kind of burnt out in the corporate world. And we want to actually add real value to life and not like being satisfied with these little teeny tiny wins. So that's a place that I'm spending some energy, and there is an organization that I have helped facilitate conferences for in the past. And we have 2 minutes, and I will add it to the Google Docs later.
okay, cool. Um, or feel free to add it to the chat and I will add it to the Google Doc. Um,
Mhm.
let's then move on to pitfalls, and I'm going to message the other group saying we're going to add 2 minutes to the total.
Cool. Pitfalls. Let me go with that. Pitfalls to avoid.
Yeah, I'm want to avoid any pitfalls you think around learning and development. Like, why not? Not,
Not not verifying the information, just blindly
yep.
accepting whatever AI says or whatever you see, that's definitely a big pitfall.
I've been learning about cults this last week. So yes, like confirmation bias.
Hmm.
Yep. Or people love bombing you apparently
Yeah.
and playing on your vulnerability.
Hmm. I almost
What
feel like
But the
that's what
question is
AI does.
pitfalls. What are the pitfalls of learning about?
Yeah, what should I avoid? Like,
Um, Obsessing on, I don't know how do I say that? Spending more energy on the negative than on possibilities and improvements. I think it's easy for us to spend more energy on what the problems are rather
Yeah.
than, the good
Yeah.
things that are happening, and that
Yeah.
can take our energy away. Woody
Yeah.
Ziegler says, turn up the good.
Yeah.
Put your energy
Yeah.
into what's working and then magnify that. And then some of those problems start to melt away. And I think that's important if
I
we,
think also in line with that is um not just the problems, but also when you think about what you want, when you whatever you're going for, people often focus. I just heard of a thing called the black coffee theory, which is all about focusing on what you don't want. Like the theory is
mm,
if you go to a barista and she's like in a coffee shop and she's like, "Oh, what do you want?" And you're just like, "I don't want black coffee. I don't want black coffee. I don't want black coffee." And she's like, "But what do you want?" "I just don't want black coffee." And so we often do that where we're just like, "Oh, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that." And being able to recognize that you're like, I'm focusing on what I don't want or what the problem is, and I'm not flipping it into what do I want.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, so. Oh, no, the breakout rooms are closing in 24 seconds.
yeah, you know what? I'm not sure what's happening that I didn't get the option to keep it open. Something must be
Oh,
strange with how I set it up. I apologize for that. So,
okay.
um, uh, I will have us come back together and then come back here. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Bye.
Whoops.
Well, see
Yeah.
you in a second.
All right.
Bye.
Not my best facilitation.